السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Okay. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Let's see if we can get a Hafiz Sab to start on time by not delaying him, inshallah, this evening. Okay, mashallah. Okay, so Surah Al-Anfal, and we are transitioning and we're moving into Surah Al-Tawbah. Hmm. So at the end of Surah Al-Tawbah, at the end of Surah Al-Anfal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَهَاجَرُوا وَجَاهَدُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَالَّذِينَ أَوَّى النَّصْرُ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هم المؤمنون حقا لهم مغفرة ورزق كريم والذين آمنوا من بعد وهاجروا وجاهدوا معكم فأولئك منهم وأولو الأرحام بعضهم أولى ببعض في كتاب الله إن الله بكل شيء عليم. So at the end of Surah Al-Anfal, this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making a distinction, a very clear distinction again, that the non-Muslims, that non-Muslims are the awliya of each other, and now that they are the friends, the protectors of each other, and they are also the inheritors of each other. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making this distinction now, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making this distinction now between the believers and the non-believers, this situation or this historical event is taking place where it's referring to the hijrah of Muslims. So now Muslims separating themselves from the kuffar and the mushrikeen, and the effort and the sacrifice that was involved with that as well. A lot of them left um, wealth, businesses, properties, and things of that nature. Also, sometimes they left family members. So, this sacrifice that was made to move from a place where they were being persecuted and they were being abused and they were being murdered. And now detaching themselves away from this place of kufr and shirk that is being dominated by kufr and shirk, and they were considered to be in a position of weakness, and now separating. And this is where now establishing Islam in Medina, and now the Islamic government governance in Medina. And now Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam becomes the head of state, and now beginning this process of the revelation of all the ahkam, the rules and regulations, and so the legal components as well as the social components for for creating a community of Muslims and a society of Muslims in Medina. And this relationship that took place between the Muhajirin and the Ansar. So the Muhajirin, even though they are leaving their families and they're leaving their wealth and they're making this extreme, not extreme, but a very, when I say extreme, meaning a very high level of sacrifice. So what you and I, the level of sacrifice that you and I would be used to trying to encourage ourselves to engage in, what they were doing was on a whole nother level. You have to also remember that it was at the very beginning of Islam. So there wasn't that backdrop like you and I have, where there are centuries of Muslims that are preceding in these examples and all of these, mashallah, these amazing personalities that we have in our rich history of Islam. So they are the beginning of that history. So they are establishing, they are the precedent themselves. So now they're making all of this effort and their sacrifice. They're leaving so much behind, and now on the other side of that coin are the Ansar. So as they come into Medina, the Ansar themselves, they are accepting these people that you could consider them outsiders. So these people are outsiders. They're not part of their tribes. They're not part of their clans, and they're coming from the outside. And now, because of Islam, they're being treated like family members. So they're being accepted and they're being cared for and they're being tended to as if they were family members. And Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is now making this connection that your Islam, that the kalima and the La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, and it is the truth, it is the haqq and haqiqah of Islam and of the believers that binds all their hearts together. So that unity, when we're talking about being muwahid, or this the divine singularity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we follow one prophet, and we have one Quran, and we are one ummah, that this singularity that exists in Islam, it is that singularity that binds us. So all of us are sharing the same understanding, the same aqidah, the same motivations and drive, the same fuel that we want the pleasure of Allah. We don't want to go to the hellfire. And then we have a responsibility to the truth, and we have a need for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rahmah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's maghfirah. So now this distinction is being made between the truth and batil, between iman and kufr and shirk. So once that line is being drawn, even now, in regards to inheritance, this is where at the end of Surah Al-Anfal, that non-Muslims do not inherit from Muslims and Muslims do not inherit from non-Muslims. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says at the end of the surah that now that Muslims inherit from each other. So even among the Muhajirin and the Ansar, that they are inheritors from amongst each other. So again, this drawing this line and saying that, look, there is a difference between, and the Quran touches on this and many other places prior to this. I think we touched on one of those a few days ago. But the point is that people who have shared interests, that these people keep company together. There's a natural gravity, and they gravitate towards each other because of those shared interests. So and we see it. So we see criminals, because of these shared interests, even within the criminal world, whatever their particular interest is, you'll find like these small groups that will gather together. The same way in ideology, and philosophy and theology, you'll find that these groups will tend to gravitate towards each other because they have shared interests, they have shared beliefs, they have shared notions, right? They have shared efforts that they are making, and that goes with everything. So even amongst Muslims, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is having us that, look, you have to make a decision, because this issue of hijrah is not just about a physical migration. It is a migration of your heart as well. And actually it's first and foremost because that is the origin of intention, that is the origin of niyyah itself. And the hadith that innamal a'malu bin niyat, the hadith itself at the very end. So the one who makes hijrah for a woman because he wants to marry a woman, then his hijrah is for that. So his niyyah is based, if his niyyah is based on something other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and following in the footsteps of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, if it is other than the ibadah of Allah, then that's what your intention was, that was your goal. So you are in a different category from those believers who are making hijrah for Allah and his Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it is the hijrah of the heart that is the most important component here. So this is what is being addressed here, that you have to make sure that you are that your interests are the interests of Muslims, your interests are the interests of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the interests of Islam. It is not enough for you to just say that you are a Muslim, because these are people that they have accepted Islam. They're saying that they are a Muslim, but now the proof is in the pudding. So you have to, your actions and the way that you are prioritizing your life and the way that you are making your decisions, it must reflect your iman. It must reflect your belief and your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is through that obedience that becomes the proof positive, or that becomes the evidence in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that what is in our hearts is actually real, it is true, and we are sincere in that belief. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this distinction is being made. And at the very end also, wajahadu fi sabilillahi. And now We are coming out of the end of Surah Al Anfal, and we were talking about in the beginning with the Battle of Badr and what took place with Badr and the Ghanima, the Ghanaim from Badr. So here, this they have been struggling and fighting in the path of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, and now as we are making this transition over into Surah Tawbah. Okay, so as we're making this transition into Surah Tawbah, now the Surah Tawbah doesn't begin with Bismillah, and we can go into a long discussion actually about that, and it would we wouldn't even be able to do in the amount of time that we have left. But long story short, that this is how it was revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There is some speculation about it being a continuation of Surah Al-Anfal. There is also a consideration given to the subject matter that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is bringing to the forefront here. And the surah itself is a Madani surah. It is revealed in Medina towards the end of the life of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this world, and um, revolves around Tabuk, also Hunain. So Tabuk takes place a little bit before Fatah Mecca. Then you have Fatah Mecca itself, and then you have Hunain, which is the battle that it's outside of Ta'if that took place after Fatah Mecca. So you have these battles and these historic moments that took place. Now, the big thing about this is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is continuing again the thematics here. So bara'atum min Allahi wa rasulihi ila alladhina ahadtum min al-mushrikeen. So this division again, and these pacts or these treaties that had been in place, and what is taking place. So what the kuffar and the mushrikeen, what they are doing, the separation is being taken place. So there is a severing of ties, and there is a severing between any connection between the kufr and the shirk, and now iman and Islam. And this in this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala previously with the battle of Badr, also Uhud, Ahzab, with these previous conflicts and engagements with the kuffar and the Muslims taking part in these battles. And then you come to this point now where, and this is a commonplace, we find this a lot, that Muslims, as time has passed and they consider themselves to have accomplish certain things. Oh, I did this in the past. I've done this for so many years, and I did this at this place, and I used to have this position, and I had this status, and I had this title, or I'm holding those now, and I've been doing it for so long, and I've been doing so. These things, the ulama, they always recommend that whatever good you have done in the past, the only thing that should be attached to it afterwards is istighfar. So bringing it up, or reminding people about it, or even thinking about it in and of itself, is something that can be detrimental. Number one, because the possibility is there that the person starts to build a certain sense of arrogance, or pride, that I am the one who did this. The other issue is that it becomes a means of distraction from the responsibilities that lie in front of us right now. But then the other part of it is this, and what's here in the subject matter in Surah Toba, is that with Tabuk, there's, because we're talking about Tabuk and Hunain. So with Tabuk, you had the Muslim community, and they have taken place in all of these engagements and these conflicts that have taken place up into the fore. And when so it's kind of like, yes, I was at Badr, and I was at Uhud, and Khandaq, and I did this, and I was there, and I was with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam at this time and that time, and I was there when this ayah was revealed, and I was there when this hadith happened. And so you have all of this, like, I have done this, and then now comes this challenge during the heat of the season, and now you're going to meet a numerically superior foe, and you're being asked to make the ultimate sacrifice, and even then, it's a struggle to gather the provisions and that are necessary to be able to go on this very long journey in the heat of the season. So, And at this point in time, now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like bringing to the very forefront whatever you've done in the past, that was the past. So it's a continuation. So just because you did something in the past, it doesn't remove the responsibility from your shoulders from carrying on into the present and into the future. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. If you look at it, mashallah, I paid my zakat, 5 years in a row, or 6 years, or 10 years, or 50 years, whatever the case may be. I paid my zakat for 50 years. Well, guess what? On the 51st year, none of that matters. You have to pay it now. I've been making salat 5 times a day for, however long. I've been going to the masjid for however long. I've been doing this for however long. That's great. That's all well and good. The obligation remains on you in the present, regardless of what you've done in the past, because the reality of the situation is that if something were to happen, ma'adallah, and now we slip and we fall, mashallah. Okay, so three particular Sahaba in Medina that procrastinated and they lagged behind for Tabuk, and now they went through a very intense time period where they didn't even know if they were going to be forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There were those that were considered to be munafiq, and they gave their excuses, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam accepted their excuses, and they went on about their business. And then there were these three that they came and told the truth. It's my fault. I procrastinated. I had this reason. I thought I had this, and next thing you know, everybody was coming back, and I'd lost the opportunity. And now, so even though they told the truth, and they were accepting the fact that this was my failure, it was my responsibility, and I lapsed in that responsibility. They went through a very intense time period now, waiting for the forgiveness of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to come about. And during that time period, they were in a period of isolation, and they had been ostracized from the community itself. So these are people who had up until that point that they had been participating on a daily basis. They had been reliable, and they had been steadfast in the path of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. But this lapse was enough that potentially can negate all of that came before. In the same way in our lives, if ma'adallah, may Allah Ta'ala protect our Islam and our Iman, and make us to die as Muslims, as believers. But we know that no matter what you have done, if you die as a non-Muslim, if you die in a state of kufr and shirk, then it is going to negate everything that has come before it. So whatever we've done in the past, it's in the past. We say alhamdulillah, and we do istighfar because of the shortcomings and the deficiencies that by default are going to be present in those a'mal. That is where our focus should be, is in the in our mistakes and our shortcomings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deserves perfection, but we are human beings. خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا. And mankind has been created weak. Thus, we have these deficiencies within our a'mal. So our focus should be on the istighfar and Toba, seeking Allah's forgiveness, turning and repenting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept these a'mal from us, even though they are not in the form or the shape that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deserves. And now, and in the present and in the future, we put all of our efforts into improving and doing better. And what are the responsibilities that are in front of me right now? What are the obligations that are in front of me right now? And so along with those distractions, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and more or less the meaning in Surah At-Tawbah, so if your wealth and your money and your children and women and this and that and the other, if all of these things are more precious to you, so if your interests, here's the issue with interest again. So if your interests, if your goals, if your ambitions, if your motivations, if your objectives are not that of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so if those are the things that you want, then fine. You go get those things. You spend your time and your efforts in those things and wait, because Malakul Maut is coming. So the final destination is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Death is an inevitable reality. And when that inevitable reality comes to pass, and now the ghaib, the veil between us and the unseen, and now it is removed and we see the reality of the situation, then it's at that time where it is impossible and no longer within our realm of ability to be able to act accordingly. That time for action has ended, and now it's time for accountability. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allahumma inna nasaluka al-afwa wal-afiyah, Allahumma inna nasaluka husnul khatima. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the best of endings. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us to fulfill the rights and the obligations of our Islam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of our past deeds, our present deeds, and our future deeds. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for our shortcomings within those a'mal themselves. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala purify our intentions. And may Allah Ta'ala make us sincere in our efforts, that everything should be according to what Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala wants. We don't become distracted. And may Allah Ta'ala protect us from becoming distracted by the beauty of this dunya and the pull of our own desires and ambitions and our own egos. And may Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala protect us from the fitan, the trials and tribulations that are in us and also around us. اللهم اغفر لنا وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين برحمتك نستغيث. جزاكم الله خيرا جزاء.
Assalamu alaikum. Today we'll begin the first quarter of the 12th juz. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما من دابة في الأرض إلا على الله رزقها ويعلم مستقرها ومستودعها كل في كتاب مبين وهو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام وكان عرشه على الماء ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا ولئن قلت إنكم مبعوثون من بعد الموت ليقولن الذين كفروا إن هذا إلا سحر مبين ولئن أخرنا عنهم العذاب إلى أمة معدودة ليقولن ما يحبسه ألا يوم يأتيهم ليس مصروفا عنهم وحاق بهم ما كانوا به يستهزئون ولئن أذقنا الإنسان منا رحمة ثم نزعناها منه إنه ليئوس كفور ولئن أذقناه نعماء بعد ضراء مسته ليقولن ذهب السيئات عني إنه لفرح فخور إلا الذين صبروا وعملوا الصالحات أولئك لهم مغفرة وأجر كبير فلعلك بتارك بعض ما يوحى إليك وضائق به صدرك أن يقولوا لولا أنزل عليه كنز أو جاء معه ملك إنما أنت نذير والله على كل شيء وكيل. أم يقولون افتراه قل فأتوا بعشر سور مثله مفتريات وادعوا من استطعتم من دون الله إن كنتم صادقين. فإن لم يستجيبوا لكم فاعلموا أنما أنزل بعلم الله وأن لا إله إلا هو فهل أنتم مسلمون. ما كان يريد الحياة الدنيا وزينتها نوفي إليهم أعمالهم فيها وهم فيها لا يبخسون. أولئك الذين ليس لهم في الآخرة إلا النار وحبط ما صنعوا فيها وباطل ما كانوا يعملون. أفمن كان على بينة من ربه ويتلوه شاهد منه ومن قبله كتاب موسى إماما ورحمة أولئك يؤمنون به ومن يكفر به من الأحزاب فالنار موعده فلا تك في مرية منه إنه الحق من ربك ولكن أكثر الناس لا يؤمنون. ومن أظلم ممن افترى على الله كذبا أولئك يعرضون على ربهم ويقول الأشهاد هؤلاء الذين كذبوا على ربهم ألا لعنة الله على الظالمين الذين يصدون عن سبيل الله ويبغونها عوجا وهم بالآخرة هم كافرون. أولئك لم يكونوا معجزين في الأرض وما كان لهم من دون الله من أولياء يضاعف لهم العذاب ما كانوا يستطيعون السمع وما كانوا يبصرون. أولئك الذين خسروا أنفسهم وضل عنهم ما كانوا يفترون. لا جرم أنهم في الآخرة هم الأخسرون. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وأخبتوا إلى ربهم أولئك أصحاب الجنة هم فيها خالدون. مثل الفريقين كالأعمى والأصم والبصير والسميع هل يستويان مثلا أفلا تذكرون. ولقد أرسلنا نوحا إلى قومه إني لكم نذير مبين ألا تعبدوا إلا الله إني أخاف عليكم عذاب يوم أليم. فقال الملأ الذين كفروا من قومه ما نراك إلا بشرا مثلنا وما نراك اتبعك إلا الذين هم أراذلنا بادي الرأي وما نرى لكم علينا من فضل بل نظنكم كاذبين. قال يا قوم أرأيتم إن كنت على بينة من ربي وآتاني رحمة من عندي فعميت عليكم أنلزمكموها وأنتم لها كارهون. ويا قوم لا أسألكم عليه مالا إن أجري إلا على الله وما أنا بطارد الذين آمنوا إنهم ملاقو ربهم ولكني أراكم قوما تجهلون. ويا قوم من ينصرني من الله إن طردتهم أفلا تذكرون. ولا أقول لكم عندي خزائن الله ولا أعلم الغيب ولا أقول إني ملك ولا أقول للذين تزدري أعينكم لن يؤتيهم الله خيرا الله أعلم بما في أنفسهم إني إذا لمن الظالمين. قالوا يا نوح قد جادلتنا فأكثرت جدالنا فأتنا بما تعدنا إن كنت من الصادقين. قال إنما يأتيكم به الله إن شاء وما أنتم بمعجزين. ولا ينفعكم نصحي أن أردت أن أنصح لكم إن كان الله يريد أن يغويكم هو ربكم وإليه ترجعون. أم يقولون افتراه قل إن افتريته فعلي إجرامي وأنا بريء مما تجرمون. وأوحي إلى نوح أنه لن يؤمن من قومك إلا من قد آمن فلا تبتئس بما كانوا يفعلون. واصنع الفلك بأعيننا ووحينا ولا تخاطبني في الذين ظلموا إنهم مغرقون. ويصنع الفلك وكلما مر عليه ملأ من قومه سخروا منه قال إن تسخروا منا فإنا نسخر منكم كما تسخرون. فسوف تعلمون من يأتيه عذاب يخزيه ويحل عليه عذاب مقيم. حتى إذا جاء أمرنا وفارت النور قل نحمل فيها من كل زوجين اثنين وأهلك إلا ما سبق عليه القول وما آمن معه إلا قليل. وقال اركبوا فيها بسم الله مجريها ومرساها إن ربي لغفور رحيم. وهي تجري بهم في موج كالجبال ونادى نوح ابنه وكان في معزل يا بني اركب معنا ولا تكن مع الكافرين قال سآوي إلى جبل يعصمني من الماء قال لا عاصم اليوم من أمر الله إلا من رحم وحال بينهما الموج فكان من المغرقين وقيل يا أرض ابلعي ماءك ويا سماء أقلعي وغيض الماء وقضي الأمر واستوت على الجودي وقيل بعدا للقوم الظالمين ونادى نوح ربه فقال رب إن ابني من أهلي وإن وعدك الحق وأنت أحكم الحاكمين قال يا نوح إنه ليس من أهلك إنه عمل غير صالح فلا تسألني ما ليس لك به علم إني أعدك أن تكون من الجاهلين قال رب إني أعوذ بك أن أسألك ما ليس لي به علم وإلا تغفر لي وترحمني أكن من الخاسرين قيل يا نوح اهبط بسلام منا وبركات عليك وعلى ممن معك وأمم سنمتعهم ثم يمسهم منا عذاب أليم تلك من أنباء الغيب نوحيها إليك ما كنت تعلمها أنت ولا قومك من قبل هذا فاصبر إن العاقبة للمتقين صدق الله العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وأصحابه أجمعين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. O Allah, the Most High, the Most Powerful, the one in whose hands our lives and the life of all creation, Ya Allah, we ask that you forgive us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, we thank you for blessing us with Islam. We thank you for gifting us with the Quran and the Sunnah, Ya Allah. We thank you for our loved ones in our community, Ya Allah. We thank you for all the blessings you showered us with on this blessed month, Ya Allah. We ask that you accept all of our ibadah, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, we ask that you protect us from this current virus, Ya Allah. Protect our loved ones, our community, all the Muslims in the world, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, we make it easy for us, Ya Allah, during this month, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, we ask that you bless us, Ya Allah, and you bless our community. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله ألف مرة سبحان ربك. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر، لا